All right, let's finish up this episode with some Southern talk because, the similarities between LSU and Southern right now are really interesting. Both teams competing for first in their respective divisions, the SEC West for LSU and the SWAC West for Southern. Right now, the Jags 4-1 in SWAC play. Just got a huge win against Texas Southern, and they're traveling to Alcorn State next weekend with a chance to take possession of first place in that SWAC West. And if they win against Alcorn State, I bet you they win the whole division because the rest of their schedule isn't really too difficult. And meanwhile, Alcorn State still has to play Jackson State, one of the best teams in the SWAC East. So, again, on Saturday, if you missed it, we got coverage on our YouTube page here by Kevin Batiste, and we did some other stuff as well covering the game. They were down and out, really. It was 17-7, and then Southern got a fumble, scoop and score, which kind of kept them back in the game there. And then with 8 seconds left, their kicker, Joshua Griffin, made a 54-yard field goal with 8 seconds left, the longest kick of his career. Just unreal, where he just pulled that out of nowhere, basically. And then Texas Southern's kicker misses a chip shot field goal in overtime. And then Kendrick Rhymes, an emerging superstar for this Jaguars football team, ran in a touchdown from 16 yards out to walk off and win it for Southern. I mean, it was awesome, and Rhymes is really stepping up big. I'll talk about him more in a few minutes here. So that was a big W against a team you probably should have beat more decidedly, but, it's college football. Any given day, any given team can beat any other given team, right? So that puts you in a tie with Alcorn State at the top of the West. SU's lone conference loss was to Alabama State way back in week 1. I think that's who they opened with. They've also lost to Florida A&M and Jackson State. So I understand if you're confused, why is Southern 4-1 and not 4-3? Because those are both SWAC teams. I guess they counted both of those games as non-conference. So that helps because that's why you're 4-1. That's why you're in the top of the West with Alcorn State. So the game next weekend against the Braves is huge. Again, the winner takes sole possession of that division, and the games left for Southern are as such: Prairie View, A&M, and Grambling State in the Bayou Classic. And then what Alcorn State has, I already mentioned it, they've still got Jackson State, a team that beat Southern by 2 touchdowns, and they've still got Texas Southern as well, a team that competed well against Southern, as I just explained to you. So those are losable games right there. So I'm thinking if Southern wins this game against Alcorn State, it's all gas, no brakes to the finish line. And you go back to the SWAC Championship game where you lost last year to Deion Sanders and Jackson State. Maybe you get a rematch with Florida A&M, a team that you played very tough here at home and only lost by a touchdown. I'd love to see that rematch. So how has Southern kind of turned it around? Harold Blood and that passing game haven't been great. I had Kevin Batiste on the show a few weeks ago, and we talked about this. He's Southern's quarterback. Just hasn't been working. He's been struggling to get to 200 passing yards a game, and in the year 2023, you can't really do that as a college football team. But while he struggled, that running game has been massive, especially the last 2 weeks. Remember that name I mentioned off the top, Kendrick Rhymes. Back-to-back 100-yard games, went off against Bethune-Cookman last week, and then he poured in, what did he get? What did he finish with? I think it was 120-some-odd yards against Texas Southern. None more important than the 16 he gathered in overtime with that game-winning touchdown run. He's really come out of nowhere, and in the last 2 weeks put up almost all of his production for the season. And if he keeps running like that, he's going to run this team right to that SWAC championship game, right? Now, as far as this Alcorn State game goes, it should be very evenly matched. They love to run the ball. They've got a solid defense, a solid offense. Southern and Alcorn are neck and neck in the SWAC standings for total offense, total defense. Alcorn's 5, Southern 6, or Southern 6 and Alcorn's 5. So this is going to be a really close game. Some notes that I gathered on this one. The home team has won 5 straight in this series. Alcorn State's the home team this year, so keep that in mind. And then Southern hasn't won at Alcorn State. The game's been played in a couple different areas, but on the road at Alcorn, Southern hasn't won since 2016. So if you want to pick based on trends, you'd probably side with Alcorn State here. But Kevin Batiste is going to be there. It's going to be a great game. It's probably going to come down to the wire, maybe like this Texas Southern game. Both teams got some good pieces. And again, the winner in the driver's seat in pole position for that SWAC West Championship. So let's see what Southern can do on Saturday at Alcorn. It's going to be a great game. You should tune in. If nothing else, tune in to our show where we break it down on Saturday, both the LSU-Alabama game and this game. We'll have plenty of great coverage. And I'll give you a pick later in the week. I'll tell you who I think is going to win the game. So check back in with us on Thursday, on Saturday. Make sure you have that game on TV. It's going to be awesome.